Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, your home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. In today's video, we're going to be profiling Osisko Development Corporation. This is a gold-focused North American development company with district-scale potential. There's a lot going on at the organization. Before we get into it though, take a second, hit the like button, you guys. Big help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to join. And let me know in the comment section below if you've heard of Osisko Development before and if you're currently holding shares. With that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Osisko Development Corporation. As you can see, trades on the New York Stock Exchange in the United States under the ticker ODV. Also trades on the TSX Venture here in Canada under the same ticker. Now this is mid-morning on Monday, June 2nd. You can see a strong start to the week for Osisko Development, up just north of 6% or about 11.5 cents on the session, currently trading hands at $1.96. Now gold's obviously been having a great year. You can see if we look at the 1 month view, Osisko is up just north of 20% and a similar percentage return if you look at the year to date interval as well. Now as you can see, market cap on Osisko Development is around $250 million, and we've got a lot to talk about throughout today's video. Now, if we jump over to the corporate website, osiskodev.com, I'll leave this linked in the video description below as well. You can see the two ticker symbols up top, ODV on both the Canadian and US exchange, along with the price of gold, which again has been doing tremendously well in 2025. We're going to walk through the website quickly, then we'll jump into the investor presentation that you can see on the bottom right here, with the key focus of Osisko Development being to revive historic mining camps around North America. Now in terms of the About Us section, you can see a responsible gold mining focus with a legacy of excellence and innovation. Osisko Development is a North American gold development company focused on past producing mining camps located in mining-friendly jurisdictions with district-scale potential. Their objective is to become an intermediate gold producer by advancing their fully permitted and 100% owned Cariboo Gold Project located here in central BC. We're going to look at that in a second. And their Tintic Project in the historic East Tintic Mining District in Utah in the United States. Now they've also got other exploration and development properties which we'll touch on briefly towards the end of the presentation. And the company itself is led by a world-class management team, a proven track record of discovering, funding, developing, and operating Tier 1 projects globally, including one of Canada's largest gold-producing mines, known as the Canadian Malartic. And from there, you can go through and click on the various different projects within their portfolio, including the Cariboo Gold Project listed first, with some specific details and highlights about this specific property, including the fact that this is 100% owned by Osisko Development, spans around 192,000 hectares, and again is focused specifically on gold and silver with a shovel-ready status. Now from there, I wanted to jump over to the investor presentation. We're going to walk through this, a number of key slides that I wanted to bring your attention to, the first of which includes the investment highlights behind Osisko Development, again building towards becoming a premier North American mid-tier gold mining company, with really 4 key highlights that are the theme of today's presentation. So again, number 1, advancing that shovel-ready Cariboo Gold Project here in Canada. And as we've talked about in prior videos, there really is a limited universe of these permitted development stage gold assets that are both of scale and located in Tier 1 jurisdictions. They're just not that common anymore, putting Osisko Development in an elite group of companies. Secondly is focusing on scalable assets with district scale potential. So this includes the multi-million ounce deposit we just mentioned at Cariboo, also developing their Tintic Project in Utah in the United States, and advancing their Trixie high-grade gold discovery and prospective project as well. They've got an experienced management team led by Sean Rusin, which we're going to talk about later in the presentation. Again, with a history of successful discovery, development, and operation of the Canadian Malartic Gold Mine, which has consistently been ranked among the largest operating gold mines in the world. And finally, a responsible stakeholder engagement focus, looking to foster and develop long-term partnerships and positive stakeholder relations, including with principal First Nations partners and host communities. Now, we just mentioned that there weren't a lot of large-scale projects in positive or friendly mining jurisdictions, it's crucially important to operate in these types of areas, not only for access to skilled workforce, but also an understanding of the political and regulatory environment in which you're doing business. These brownfield properties with existing available access to infrastructure, presenting meaningful upside exploration potential for Osisko, is really a perfect combination. Again, their Cariboo Gold Project in the top left, located in British Columbia, Canada, with certificates, permitting, and optimization already being completed, and financing and bulk sampling to take place this year, with a reserve encompassing over 2.07 million ounces of gold, 1.61 million ounces measured and indicated, or 1.86 million ounces inferred gold resource. And again, over 1,900 square kilometers on the property, with existing infrastructure, the support of local Indigenous nations, and the BC government. Now, the Tintic Project is focused on gold and copper, again 100% owned in Utah in the United States. Over 150,000 ounce measured and indicated gold resource, or 51,000 ounces inferred, along with some highlights of the Trixie location itself and the fact that the mineral resource estimate, or MRE, has already been completed in March of last year. Now, I mentioned there were some additional targets as well in the intro. The San Antonio project is located in Sonora, Mexico. Again, 100% ownership with a gold focus here by Osisko Development. So with that being said, I wanted to take a quick look at the capital structure of Osisko as well. You can see 40% institutional ownership, including some of the biggest institutional names in the mining sector like Sprott, Fidelity, Equinox Partners, and Franklin Templeton. 24% allocated to the Osisko Gold royalties, 1% currently held by insiders and management. That could get up to about 4.5% once fully diluted, which leaves about 35% of the float available to the public. Now, Osisko is also already covered by some of the top analysts in the space, including RBC, Cantor Fitzgerald, and the National Bank of Canada. And in terms of their relative valuation, if you look at price to NAV, or price to net asset value, currently in the neighborhood of about a 0.4 ratio, placing them comfortably in the middle of their peer group, or this relative valuation metric. So this is where it gets really interesting. Now, they've put together some great videos of each one of these projects available on YouTube. The first we're going to talk about is the Cariboo Gold Project. Again, 100% ownership in British Columbia, Canada. Now, we've talked about some of the asset highlights, including the fact that they've now completed that feasibility study showing an NPV of $943 million and that impressive IRR, or internal rate of return, of 22.1%. This is a brownfield site with year-round access, existing infrastructure in place. We already talked about some of those catalysts that are in the past, but in terms of upcoming catalysts to watch for, they're expected to have their bulk sample results in the third quarter of this year. Now, they then go on to talk about some of the reserves and resources, including the classifications, and that impressive all-in sustaining cost of around $1,157 US per ounce. Now, from here, they then go on to talk about some of the highlights from that optimized feasibility study. You can see the 10-year mine life we made reference to. First gold out of the ground expected in the second half of 2027, with the first full year of production being in 2028. Initial capex estimates in the neighborhood of $881 million. And as I just mentioned, that all-in sustaining cost of $1,157 US per ounce, or $947 US per ounce in terms of total cash cost. Now, at the bottom, you can see their base and spot case scenarios, and that's where we get that 22.1% expected IRR, or after-tax IRR, which could range all the way up to 38% if you're using $3,300 per ounce US spot gold pricing. And again, 1.61 million ounces measured and indicated, and 1.86 million ounces inferred. Now, from there, they then go on to speak about some of the samples and underground development that's taken place at the location, including that completed main decline ramp, with the anticipated completion of the bulk sampling program and results to be released again in the third quarter of this year. And here are some great additional shots of underground operations at the project. Now, I mentioned this is in a very friendly mining jurisdiction with existing regional infrastructure in place, year-round road access, grid power allocated from BC Hydro, a total of 22 megawatts at an average of 6.7 cents per kilowatt hour, so very competitive pricing. And worth noting, there's significant infrastructure already in place at the site itself, including a fully permitted and functional QR mill with supporting equipment including a road header, ore sorter, water treatment plant, and lodging facilities already in place. And they then go on to give a few timeline slides, highlighting the fact that the Cariboo Project has already successfully completed their permitting, and some of the key milestones to watch out for over the coming years, including the first gold, again in the back half of 2027. Now, what's so exciting about this Cariboo project is based on that $947 per ounce cash cost and the $1,157 per ounce all-in sustaining cost, it places them comfortably in the lower half of this global cost curve, meaning this project is very well situated relative to notable Canadian underground operations, which in turn fuels this project's robust economics, whether you're looking at a base case or a spot case scenario. And here you can see some of these highlighted numbers, again showing the potential range or spectrum using either $2,400 or $3,300 US gold prices. Now, the Tintic Project is next up on the list, again 100% owned, located in Utah in the United States. This is a highly productive historical mining district located around 95 kilometers south of Salt Lake City, with the company currently fast-tracking the Trixie target while advancing other prospective exploration targets on the property. You can see the mineral resource estimate was completed for Trixie back in 2024 in the first quarter, with the next upcoming catalyst really being that surface periphery drilling and advanced technical work at the location. Now, although the mineral resource estimate or MRE comprised a relatively small footprint, this was considered a high-grade deposit, meaningful upside, with only around 10% of the main Trixie area explored to date, with a 57% increase in the measured resource compared to that 2023 Trixie MRE. Now, the ramp upgrade and development is now 100% complete. You can see some of the images in the bottom left, with the team then going on to talk about some of the drilling and chip sampling highlights at this specific location. Now, last but not least is the San Antonio project in Sonora, Mexico. Once again, 100% ownership for Osisko Development. And this one again features gold mineralization identified over a 10-kilometer strike, mine infrastructure and water already on site as we just saw in that image, and currently awaiting next steps from the Mexican government on permitting while going through a strategic review internally, including the potential for financing, strategic partnership, or for a full or partial sale of the asset itself. Now, the final point I wanted to leave you with is just the leadership team and board of directors at Osisko Development. Again, chair and CEO is Sean Rusin, a long-standing veteran in the mining exploration space. He's really surrounded himself by an impressive management team with long-standing connections and experience in their respective fields, along with a well-versed board of directors. So for those reasons, you guys, I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts on Osisko Development in the comments section below. Again, advancing that shovel-ready Cariboo Gold Project here in Canada, a focus on scalable assets with district-scale potential, an experienced leadership team led by Sean Rusin, as we just mentioned, and that responsible stakeholder engagement, including with principal First Nation partners and host communities. If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and thank you to Cashew Technologies for funding this video on behalf of Osisko Development Corporation. That's all for now. We'll see you back here tomorrow.